Every year, late-round picks and undrafted rookies turn heads in camp and earn real roles, sometimes even league-winning ones. In today's video, I'm breaking down 5 deep sleeper rookies from the 2025 class who are already making noise and could rise fast on their team's depth chart. If you're in a deep Dynasty league, these are names you'll want to stash before training camp kicks in. Hey. What's going on, guys? Before we get into the video, I just wanted to announce that every single Friday here on out, we're going to be doing a live show on Justin Paul Sports YouTube channel. So if you guys want to watch me break down film live, go over some of the rookies in this year's class, things like that, go check that out. I'll post a link to his channel and the live stream here in the description. Thank you guys for watching. Let's get back to the video. Alright guys, so the first guy that we're going to be talking about is Raheem "Rocket" Sanders for the Chargers. He did unfortunately end up going undrafted, but he was a really solid back for the Arkansas Razorbacks this past year in college football. He's a big back, he plays very physical, he's got some really sweet feet as well. Surprisingly good agility for his size. You know, he's 6 foot tall, 217 pounds, and you can see some of his drills that he ran at the combine. A 4.46 at his size is 92nd percentile in terms of speed score, which he was moving at the combine, guys. He really kind of showed up there. So obviously in terms of the depth chart, he's behind Najee Harris and Omarion Hampton for sure, at least for this season, but I think he's better than Kamani Vidal and the other options that the Chargers have. So I think he'll at least carve out the RB3 role for them if he makes the team. And honestly, after Najee Harris this year, I think he'll get shipped out somewhere else. He'll test free agency and go to another team. I think Raheem Sanders could be the RB2 in this team. So if you see him on the waiver wire or something like that, I'd take him and put him on your taxi squad for a year, because in that Jim Harbaugh offense, they run a ton. So after Omarion Hampton, if he gets gassed or hurt, anything like that, Raheem Sanders is going to be primed for a big-time role. So another running back here at number 4, we have Devin Neil for the Saints. Loved Devin Neil coming out of Kansas. I loved his patience behind the line, his burst especially. Kind of reminded me a little bit of like a Le'Veon Bell type of runner. Not going to say he's necessarily as good as Le'Veon Bell or will have that same type of production, but they are similar types of players in terms of how they run the football. And he was a top 10 back for me before the draft, and I thought he'd go anywhere 3rd, 4th round, somewhere in there. He ends up falling all the way to the 6th round to the Saints. So he's 5'11", 213 pounds, so his BMI slightly below what you'd want in a workhorse type of running back. And, you know, his 40-yard dash wasn't anything particularly good, but his burst, that's where he thrives. You know, Le'Veon Bell wasn't the fastest runner either, so he is able to get big-time chunk gains, you know, anywhere from that 8 to 15-yard range with his burst. And in the Saints roster, on the depth chart, I mean, he's kind of behind maybe Kendre Miller and obviously Alvin Kamara, but we don't know how long Alvin Kamara is going to be playing in the league anyways. So Devin Neil, you know, he's probably going to make the team as a 6th-round pick since they're very thin at the running back room. So yeah, guys, I think Devin Neal's going to carve out a role as an RB2. I think the Kendre Miller experience is kind of over for the Saints, in all honesty, even though I do kind of like him as a player. I think Devin Neil is more talented. So if you're wanting an RB2 with, you know, a handcuff to Kamara if you own Kamara, I think Devin Neal's the perfect pickup here. And then at number 3, we have a tight end for the Dolphins, Jaylen Conjurs. Now, obviously you can tell, no picture on player profile. He's not even in keep trade cut at all. So this guy's very low profile. He is on sleeper, I believe, at this very moment. So obviously he's going to go undrafted in your rookie drafts if you haven't done them already. He's probably unrostered in probably 85-90% of leagues right now. But guys, this guy is an interesting prospect. He's 6'4", 260, so pretty good size at the tight end position. And if you look at his athletic measurables, very solid scores all across the board. Big-time catch radius. And I looked at some of the data over the past 10 years for the tight end position. The only thing that really equates to production at the next level is athleticism for the tight end position, and this guy has tons of that. He's a fun prospect because he's coming out of Texas Tech, and he lined up. He was kind of like a Tyler Warren-esque type of player. They ran the ball with him. They lined him up outside in line. He's a big-time red zone threat as well. Yes, Jonnu Smith's ahead of him, but they don't have any established tight ends outside of him. I think their tight end 2 right now is Pharaoh Brown. So obviously this guy could make the team as a tight end and be kind of like this gadget type of player, kind of like a Taysom Hill type of role. So if you can pick him up and you have a free taxi squad spot, in deep leagues, he's still available. So I would suggest picking up Jaylen Conjurs, because if he makes the team, he could make an impact. And at number 2, we have Xavier Restrepo for the Titans. Guys, I'll say he's kind of interesting as a prospect just because he ran so poorly. He was dealing with some injuries at his pro day, and that kind of leaded him to run a 4.9 140, which obviously is the worst 40 time that we've ever seen from a wide receiver. And I think he's faster than that. I don't think he's a great athlete from what I saw on film, but I will say he's a very smart, high IQ football player with tons of effort. I mean tons of effort on film. Now, I wish he wouldn't have ran at his pro day because I did expect him to be a 5th, 6th round pick somewhere in there because he was Miami's all-time leading receptions and receiving yards leader, and you can't be a bad player and do that at the same time because of all the talent that's come through Miami over the past few years. Now, with Restrepo, Cam Ward reaches out to the coaching staff and says, hey, we need to bring this guy in because he's my guy. Like, we don't really have a slot receiver. In all reality, the Titans don't really have a slot receiver right now. They drafted Alec Aomanor, who I do love. You know, Chamir DK, who I kind of view as more of a special teams guy, but was showing out a little bit in OTAs. And then Calvin Ridley's kind of like your X receiver. So they don't really have a slot wide receiver right now. And I think Restrepo can absolutely fill that role just because of how smart he is. Now, if he's being drafted in your rookie drafts, I think that's a little bit too high for him, so I would just ignore him if somebody is trying to take him in the 3rd or the 4th round. But if he is on waiver wires, guys, I would highly suggest picking him up because with Cam Ward and that chemistry already there, he could probably find some PPR scam artist type of receptions in this season. And at number 1, guys, it's a running back that I really like. It's Kyle Manungai for the Chicago Bears. And with Kyle Manungai, you know, he's out of Rutgers, and we've seen guys like Isaiah Pacheco find success from that school before, and he was a late-round draft pick as well. And Manungai has a great build, in my opinion. This is what my personal favorite type of build is for a running back, 5'8", 211. You know, guys like Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders had a similar type of build to Manungai because they're short and compact, low center of gravity, really hard to tackle, great contact balance as well, has a great BMI to pair with that, so he can kind of carry workhorse carries if he needs to. Now, I did expect the Bears to kind of grab a running back in the first 2 rounds. I thought they would possibly pick Genty at 10 if he fell. I thought they would definitely pick Judkins or one of the other running backs in the 2nd round since they had 2 second-round picks, but they wait all the way till the 7th round to draft Manungai. Now, some of the things about Manungai, he's a great pass protector. He's a solid power back as well, and they're kind of lacking that. The Chicago Bears kind of only have DeAndre Swift, who's kind of like this more of elusive, speedy type of back, and Kyle Manungai can be that type of David Montgomery runner where DeAndre Swift will be this kind of counterfeit Jahmyr Gibbs. And I think Ben Johnson will try to utilize that to his advantage this year with the Bears. Now, with Manungai, he does have to fight with Roschon Johnson, a couple of other guys on that depth chart, but I find him to be a little bit more talented because I had him as my 11th best back in this class, and obviously this class is ridiculously stacked at the running back position. So Manungai, I think, could win the RB2 role. He's not the fastest guy, as you can see by his athletic measurables, but you don't really have to be in a Ben Johnson offense, especially if you're playing the David Montgomery role. You can just run through tackles and get 5 or 6 yards, be the goal line back as well. So Manungai, if you're looking for a guy with some goal line work and some short yardage work behind DeAndre Swift, I think this guy is a very good get in the 3rd or 4th round in your rookie drafts. If he wasn't drafted, I highly suggest picking him up off the waiver wire. Training camp separates the hype from the truth, but these 5 rookies are already gaining steam. Don't be surprised if one or more of them makes a real impact by preseason. Let me know in the comments who your favorite deep sleeper is, and if you want more exclusive Dynasty talk, join the Bobby's Big Board Discord. The link is in the description as always. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for watching.
Hey.